This week's Parsha, Parshas Tisa, is actually sandwiched between the Parshios of the Mishkan. On one side, we have Truma and Tetzaveh, and next week and the week after, we have the Parshios of Vayakal and Pekudei. Why? Why is this week's Parsha sandwiched? Why do we have suddenly a pause? It almost seems to suggest that Parshas Tisa, in a certain sense, adds a certain element to the Mishkan. There's a component that is now going to be added to what the purpose of the Mishkan would be. What is that? When we understand and we look at this week's Parsha, we are obviously introduced and we are told of the story of the Egel Azav. The Egel Azav is a story that is so hard to comprehend. How is it possible that Klal Yisrael could fall to such a level? After Kriyas Yamsuf, the Eser Makos, Kabbalah Satorah, and suddenly the Egel Azav. How is it possible? And also, and how do we relate to that kind of idea? So quite possibly one could answer as follows. The beautiful thing about the Mishkan and the purpose of the Mishkan is that the Mishkan was about what? Was about us giving back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Up until this point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, provided, did whatever He possibly could for us. But there was never an opportunity for us to give back until the Mishkan. When you have the Mishkan, when we're looking for L'chol asher yidvenu libo, all the different donations that were going to be given to the Mishkan, finally there was an opportunity to actually give, to actually build on that investment in the relationship with us and the Ribono Shel Olam. Possibly we could suggest that the Egel Hazav was almost a culmination of a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu that wasn't yet appreciated, in the sense that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave and gave and gave and gave. But where was our position in that relationship? Relationships have to be two ways. How is it possible, or where do we see our component? So I think after the Egel Azav, we suddenly see a whole new perspective, which is quite interesting when you think about it. Because right when we finish the completion of the Mishkan, and we enter the manual, so to speak, of how to use the Mishkan, with Sefer Vayikra and all of the laws of the Korbanos, interesting thing. Sefer Vayikra is the beginning of when we even use the word Korban. Up until this point, it was an Olah, it was a Zevach Shlamim, Chatat. Never was it used in the word of Korban. Korban from the language of Likarev, the idea of becoming close. Because after the Egel Hazav, there was a component that what? That we were to give, that we needed to give, that this became the way of becoming close to the Ribono Shel Olam. And when we look at it in its entirety, this whole discussion, really that's the whole point of the Mishkan. And certainly according to those opinions who say that really the only purpose of the Mishkan only happened after, post Egel Hazav. Because the idea was that after the Egel Hazav, we needed an ability to come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We needed to come closer. We needed the opportunity to invest. The concept of Korban shouldn't only be looked at from the perspective of sacrifice, but actually an investment in our relationship. And that possibly would be an angle to appreciate why is the Egel Hazav stuck right in between the Mishkan? Because its story itself added a tremendous component to the Mishkan. That the Mishkan was not only, like the Ramban said, and tells us that it's a continuous experience of the Sinai revelation, that continuant, that we have it constantly with us the entire time. But rather it's something more than that. It's something in addition to that. And that is, it's our ability and our it's our ability to connect to the Ribono Shel Olam, to invest in our relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam, to make a lasting relationship. Have a wonderful Shabbos.